everybody. Just continuing on our little YouTube series here. Today, with it being mid-February, statistically is probably the best time to list a house with regards to days on market. So what we find this time of year is there's quite a low inventory. So there's not a lot of houses that are listed for sale. And buyers are starting to get very excited about spring. The weather's getting a little bit nicer. People want to get out and look at some houses. But the people that seem to be getting ready to list their house for sale haven't hit the market yet. So we find there's more buyers than sellers out there typically this time of year. So it's kind of exciting. There's a lot going on this time of year. So I figured we'd talk about getting your house ready to list, to really capitalize on the timing of the market. So we're not going to worry today about pricing or anything like that. There's a lot of factors that go into pricing. That's a whole nother conversation. So kind of my thoughts for today would be, once we get a price figured out, we've decided that now is the time to list. What do we want to do to get the house ready for the market to make sure you get the top dollar possible for your sale? So a couple big things. Just want to focus today on cleaning and decluttering. So very important. Cleaning, there's kind of a couple different stages to it, but when you're getting a house ready to list, you want to make sure you clean the inside and out. Inside, the typical, you want to make sure your kitchen, bathrooms, your main areas, your flooring, everything just shines and sparkles. It's going to make a huge difference. Outside, a lot of people don't realize, but it's very important to just take a hose or a pressure washer, whatever you have, spray the outside of your house, get all that dust, all those cobwebs off, and make sure it looks great. When we're getting into a little bit warmer weather, make sure you sweep off the sidewalk, make sure the lawn looks good, flowers are nice, all that kind of stuff makes a huge difference in curb appeal. And decluttering, so I think is a huge point. So you definitely want to make sure the house shows as big as possible. You want to make it look as much like a show home as possible. Even though you do live in it, you don't have to worry about taking all your personal effects down, but make sure that there's not small appliances on the countertop. Make sure there's, your toothbrushes in the bathroom aren't out. Just stuff like that makes it look that much nicer, like a show home. Store items, if you store items in totes in a garage or a closet or even in a spare room, people don't necessarily care if they're looking at a house, open up a door or look in the garage and there's a pile of totes or Rubbermaids with stuff in it. They would rather see the main common areas, the traffic areas that are just nice and exposed, and they can visualize their stuff in that home. And then again, for the showings themselves, really big pet peeve of mine is actually dishes in the sink. It makes a huge difference. So if you walk into a house and you look in the kitchen, which is typically the focal point of a house, you get in the kitchen and even a couple plates in the sink, it's tough. So make sure your sink is empty, and that really just kind of shows the house in its greatest light, and again makes it look as much like a show home as possible. So yeah, just a couple really quick tips here to make sure that you can capitalize on the spring market. Keep in mind, end of February, kind of mid to end February into the spring is super active. So if you have any questions or want to have a conversation about getting your house ready to list, definitely give me a call or give John or I a call, and we can kind of talk you through that process and your specific situation a little bit better. So thanks for tagging along, and we'll see you soon.